Yeah, that's a Lingcod, baby, right there.
You're just gonna fillet this sucker right off the bone?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fish Out Northwest, waiting on Tommy Donlin.
This is what you call a bait stop.
Fishing is my kind of style. I float the Wainuchi when it gets hot. I'm proud of all the things that I've got.
Hello and welcome to Fish Out Northwest. Waiting on Tommy Donlin back here in studio. It's
That's
Thursday,
right.
buddy, and
It
we are here. Where are we?
Summit Lake, baby.
The beautiful shores. How about
Yes.
this weather?
I know, it's phenomenal.
I got a little sun off the water today.
Only had to wait 8 months for it, but it is here.
It is
Yep.
here. Let's hope it just continues, man, because this is fantastic. So glad the warm weather is finally here. Hopefully you folks are getting out and getting some things accomplished. I know we've been enjoying it as well. Going to bring a lot of that to you this evening on some of the stuff we've been doing. You know, been on the road a lot lately.
Yes, we have.
Holy smokes.
Put a lot of miles on the truck.
Holy cow, and it's just going to continue.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
So I want to welcome everybody to the show. We have a very full show once again this evening. Lots of topics to tackle, lots of insightful information coming your way. So thanks for tuning in. Please grab our content here and share it out with all your friends. Invite them to the party because it's going to be a good one. And Tommy, before we get too far along, I want to remind everybody, hey, do us a favor, go to our webpage, www.fishuntnw.com. There you're going to find a couple of coupon codes that you need to start using. The FHN20 coupon code at checkout. Edge rods, all edge rods, 20% off all the time at checkout through Fish Out Northwest. And of course, Phelps game calls, and this goes on for the entire year, Tommy, as we bounce in and out of hunting opportunities as the season progresses. Phelps game calls, Fish Hunt 10% off all Phelps calls for the entire year. Along with that, you know, this weather is very conducive to getting outside and just getting going on some of this stuff. Lots of opportunity out there. We have so many things on the calendar.
We do. It's a struggle sometimes.
It's as William used to say, frozen with indecision, right? But you got to make a plan, and you got to just commit to something and go get it done. So, and a little more on that later on as we get through this show. Tommy, I don't know if you caught this earlier in the week, but there was an announcement it came out of a judge, I believe, up in Seattle area, definitely here in Western Washington, was paying attention to a few other lawsuits and things going on with the Wild Fish Conservancy, but he also kind of slid in there under the radar to many. He's apparently closing the lucrative Southeast Alaska troll fishery that goes from summer into winter. Troll fishery up there in Southeast Alaska.
Right.
Did you catch that?
I did, and you know, and that's where a lot of our fish end up, right?
Yeah.
And so it's pretty surprising for that to come at this time of year, because it's right on the beginning of their season, right?
True.
But ultimately, right, they're looking out for our southern resident killer whales, right? Which, biologists have indicated that there's a lot of concern for that strain of killer whale and that set of killer whales. And so, by shutting down that troll fishery, and I think the reason this judge made the decision is that shutting down that fishery actually increases their prey base by 6%.
Correct.
And, working with a biologist team, what they've determined is that increasing it by 6% will actually stabilize their population, right? Their population has been in decline.
Sure.
But looking at the data, shutting down that troll fishery allows their prey base to kind of remain even. It doesn't increase their population, but if they can keep it even, right, at least they can save the southern killer whale. So that's really the reason for the decision.
That is the goal. It will more than likely be disputed by the troll fisheries and unions and stuff up there. That being said, I mean, it puts a pretty considerable amount of more Chinook on the waters here around Western Washington, and then around 200,000 fish coming back, possibly 175,000 to the Columbia. Heck, even in the backyard over here, Grays Harbor region, we could be looking at 8 to 10,000 more Chinook on the spawning grounds. The question will be, if this holds and finds its way to actually come true, WDFW co-managers, what are we going to do with all this Chinook? More to come on this. We're going to pay attention to this one because this could be a game changer for our fall fishery for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right. Before we get too deep on all of this, let's move it along here. Running down the show, guests lined up tonight: Shane Magnuson, Upper Columbia Guide Service, the Drano 500, Tommy, and of course the Wind River. How is the madness going this season? We're going to check in with him. Also, a great little interview segment. Matt shot. Myself and him over there with Eric Braaten, the history of the turkey cabin. You've heard me talk about the turkey cabin. Now we got a little sit-down interview with Eric that just kind of describes the whole thing. Great little piece of information. Glad to bring this one to everybody. Then FHN on the water. Hey, we teamed up last weekend, buddy, with Defiance Marine and Raymarine boys out at Neah Bay Halibut in Lingcod, the opener. The good times. We'll recap it and bring you the video that we shot on our amazing day with you at the helm. Then also news updates, things to be aware of, and information you can use. We'll close out the show with some announcements and, of course, remind you all about the Kids Derby coming up. Lots to get through and not enough time to do it, so we're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back. Shane Magnuson, Upper Columbia Guide Service, right here, Fish on Northwest.
Defiance Marine is the one-stop shop for the Pacific Northwest angler. Defiance Marine guarantees the best price on a new and best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine is a boat dealer who proudly sells Defiance, Allied, and Arima boats. All boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Defiance Marine has all your boating needs to help you get out on the water.
If you're looking for the best fishing rods in the world, you really do need to take a look at the Edge rods. I designed and built new machinery, and I think this new machinery has enabled us to build blanks like no other company could build without this equipment. There is no other rods in the world that are as good as these rods. You owe it to yourself to take a good look at them.
For more than 90 years, you've entrusted one brand to guide you toward living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Now you can entrust affiliated Better Homes and Gardens real estate professionals to interpret your needs and help you find the home in which to live your dreams through every stage of your home buying or selling process. And through every stage of your life, there's Better Homes and Gardens real estate. Expect better.
All right, welcome back here to the show, Fish on Northwest. And Tommy, you ever fished Drano or the Wind River, Upper Columbia?
No, I've seen plenty of videos that preclude me from having to ever do that.
Doesn't make you want to just jump in a boat and go?
No, that's why I spend a lot of time on the ocean, man. Yeah.
Well, our next guest is deep-rooted into this madness up there. He's been doing it for years. Longtime friend Shane Magnuson, Upper Columbia Guide Service. And he is bouncing back and forth between the Drano 500 and the Wind River, chasing the Spring Chinook that everybody wants to get their teeth into. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I am doing good. How are you guys?
Hey, we're fantastic.
Excellent.
Yep, thanks for joining us. So, hey, I looked at dam counts, Shane. We had just shy of 8,000 Spring Chinook go over Bonneville yesterday. I didn't get today's count, but those numbers are starting to tick up. So I got to imagine there's quite a few fish in and around the toilet bowl there at Drano 500 and up there around the Wind where you're putting in most of your time. Overall, how's the fishing going? Plenty of fish around?
Yeah, we've been fishing it for a couple weeks now, and it was with the smaller numbers, it was a grind, but we were still actually doing pretty well. And now at this uptick in numbers the last 3 days, it's definitely game time. There's plenty of fish around, and plenty of people after them also. But yeah, no, bite's been really good.
Hey, that's excellent. So I've never been there, right? I spend most of my time on the salt chain, and I've seen the pictures, and it is like at Drano, it is like Talladega Nights meets bumper boats, right? It's just, it's crazy how many vessels can
wrap
be
your boat in tires and go for it.
Yeah,
exactly. And so I see that, right? And I'm thinking, okay, like when you hook a fish, you guys must be using like high-speed lever drags, like 50 wides, just trying to get these fish in the boat. But I'm just curious, like with this really tiny area and so many fish and so many boats packed in the area, what is the go-to rig? What are you using to catch these fish?
So it depends. Both Drano and the Wind are very different fisheries, just because of that aspect. You get into Drano and you get so tight, troll speeds really slow down. So we drop the size of our gear a lot. Small blades, even down to Kokanee size, little spinner blades. Little itty bitty 3.0 Hildebrandt blades, smile blades, anything that will spin and still let your flasher rotate at a Mach 0 speed. And that's kind of the key. And then everybody just gets in there and see which shrimp they want for the day. We're fishing mostly coon shrimp underneath those blades with a pro troll. And I go out there with about 4 different gears and see which one they want for the day.
Yeah, makes sense. How much lead are you using on that?
We start, I taper back. If I run 6 rods, we start our front rods with 12 ounces, 10 ounces in the middle, and 8 ounces out the back. When it gets really busy bumper boats, then I'll bump that up to 14, 12s, and 10s just to keep everything a little more straight down.
Yeah. So when it does get busy like that and gets crowded, do these fish, can it literally like shut a bite down? And if that does happen, what do you do to try and, re-energize or get that bite going again?
It's, it definitely can shut a bite down. You'll get a batch of fish in there and you're still marking them, but you got all these boats kind of pushing them around. Really, you're waiting on new flushes of fish. Those new ones that come swimming underneath that bridge into Drano, they haven't seen anything in 170 miles, so they come in there pretty ready to snap.
Yeah.
And then once they're in there for a little bit, of course they get dizzy with everything going around, and then they don't want to bite, and you just got to kind of wait for the new ones to come in. As the season goes on and there's not new ones coming in, they do start to stack up out in the lake, and out there you can do more things on them with troll speeds and plugs and different things, get away from some of the boats.
One of the interesting things, the rules that they put into effect, right, is that they have a demarcation line now where, the bank fishermen, right, that they have their water, and then the people in boats, they have their water, right? I really think it would make a good reality TV show to film what's going on here, but they're trying to deconflict the 2 different user groups, and I get it. And so now, as we like to joke, right, the toilet bowl, the Drano 500, right, the track, it's gotten a little bit smaller. And I'm curious, so as you're in this giant, circle with all the other boats, and you're trying to, you're slowing down, you're speeding up, you're trying not to hit people, and you're trying to still make your gear work effectively. You mentioned downsizing to make sure that everything still spins and works at the low speed. Do you notice that when you really have to slow down to avoid, maybe a boat collision or just to try to get in the right lane, do you notice that you're not as effective trolling at that low speed, or does it really matter at all?
Absolutely. We slow down, and it gets to the point where it's so crowded in there that you're only fishing about half the circle, and half the circle you're just fighting to get back to the other half that your gear is fishing. And that happens a lot. Sometimes the bite gets so good in there that it doesn't matter, and you can be in neutral and they're biting your shrimp hanging straight up and down. But for the most part, when it does get crowded, you're fighting for very little fishing time, and that gets frustrating for a lot of people. And we try to there's a good group of us in there that try to encourage people to speed up and spread out the circle a little bit, go a little bit further into the lake before you make the turn, and make the circle a little bigger so that we can keep a little better pace. Everybody catches more fish that way.
Yeah.
But it's hard. You get a good bite going on right in the corner where everybody's turning, and then you get guys that want to cut back in. So it's definitely a constant battle, kind of wait your turn. And, as people flush in and out of the circle, the fish do, and you eventually get your shots.
Sounds like a little bit of sound advice for newbies that want to come give it a try this year. There's always new folks they add to the party. Shane, never enough time. We're up against a hard break here, so we need to bounce. But appreciate you jumping on this evening, buddy. I know you're busy. Always appreciate your insight, and keep it real out there and keep smiling, because fishing's supposed to be fun, right?
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to seeing you guys on the water.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Good luck.
All right, Shane Magnuson, Upper Columbia Guide Service. You can find him at his website and, of course, on Facebook. Very active on Facebook. We're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back. A little interview segment I did with Eric Braaten over there at the Turkey Cabin. You guys got to check out this Turkey Cabin and what it truly is all about over there on the east side, and how serious they do take their turkey hunting. Don't go anywhere, but we'll be back with that interview right after this break, right here, Fish on Northwest.
Allied, the new leader in heavy gauge aluminum boats. Allied boats have standard reverse chine and lifting rakes to help you plane faster and run at lower RPMs. Allied boats have several models to choose from, ranging from a 19-foot Mustang all the way up to a 32-foot Liberator. So regardless of what type of heavy gauge aluminum boats you are looking for, Allied Boats will have it for you. Contact Allied Boats today to learn more about these incredible fishing machines.
Hey guys, Dwayne England, Fish on Northwest, here with buddy Eric Braaten. You guys all know Eric, the Turkey Whisperer.
Well,
huh?
I guess. If it sticks.
It's, hey man, you know, nicknames are earned.
Yeah.
And all of this, you know, it's, you got hunting cabins, you got deer camp, elk camp, deer cabin, whatever. Turkey cabin, turkey camp. You guys take this
serious over here on this east side.
We do.
Yeah, not messing around.
No, it's been fun. Lots of history, lots of.
This thing, the last time I stayed here, look, you plug a generator into this when we got to have lights at night. Come out here, sit by a fire. We can cook on our camp stoves. Or
we got a microwave in there.
Got a microwave in there. It's the old AM PM burrito style microwave. You dial up.
It's awesome.
And you can actually hear the tickets clicking, the seconds ticking off on there. And yeah, it is. It's a
for those breakfast sandwiches in the morning.
Yeah, it's perfect. So it's basically like camping, albeit we have a comfy little structure to sleep in at night.
Right.
And we don't get mauled by bears. It's kind of nice.
No.
Right?
Nope, no bears. But we've had them around.
Let's explain a little bit on the inside of that cabin, what it looks like in there.
Well, we have a lot of, just kind of history. And when you're sitting in there, like we mainly built it just to get out of the wind and the weather.
Yeah.
Because wind in Lincoln County, where we're at, it's terrible in the spring.
Yep.
And so you'd be cold, chasing birds all day, and you'd want to get out of the wind. And so that's the main reason we built it. But since, we had, storms and we're stuck in there playing cards or doing whatever. And, but yeah, just trying to mark down, just kind of a timeline of events. We started, using the Sharpies on the walls, and we'd have little kids running around and they would be writing on the walls, and just to keep them entertained before the next, storm break, so that we could go out and hunt. So
we got a wood stove in there. You ever cook food on the wood stove? Get a pot of soup?
Yep.
On, or
a lot of guys would bring a pot of chili or something to throw on the stove. And, there's a couple years we'd come out here and late whitetail muzzleloader hunt.
Nice.
But the landowner, she was teaching hunter education out here. Oh. It's got dual purposes,
Right.
So they use it. We have a little bar, and we have a traditional gobble shot every time you shoot a bird, and then we have we have a camp contest. So anybody that shoots the smallest bird is a camp every year, and
every camp needs. It's just
and so that traditionally, that just the history of the camp is, we have a dance you have to do. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, and we have new rules that, but it's just a good thing that we've created with our friends and then new friends, and we brought guys into the camp over the years, mentored a lot of new turkey hunters, which has been probably my favorite part, is just getting the bug.
Yeah. Oh, and you do too. Matt's got a turkey tag this year, so
right on.
We'll see if we can't get him the smallest bird, because I want to see those dance moves.
Sportco, an outdoor emporium, is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
McCombie's custom lures are made in the Northwest for salmon, steelhead, lake trout, and kokanee. Our products come in a variety of sizes and colors to help you catch more fish. Find our products in stores or at McCombie'sCustomLures.com.
Yep, for sure.
Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy, nice fish. Oh, beauty, gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh yeah. Oh, geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
We're gonna show you how to make fishing reels.
You guys built the dance. Look at him.
Yeah. Well, we have all the stuff in there for the ceremony.
Perfect.
So.
Yeah. Nothing better than seeing a Viking dress up like a turkey and do the dance.
I mean, just the camp itself. My buddy Dale, mailman, he was the integral part. Kind of the cornerstone of the camp, and we based all of our timing around when he had time off, and it was usually, we always tried to be hunting here, and he passed away a while ago, and we still get together just in his memory. We have we have a white cross out here on the point in his memory, and just, because now that we're getting older, we all try to make the time to come, even if it's just for a few hours or maybe if it's just a few days.
That's important.
But yeah, it's the camaraderie, and it's more than turkey hunting.
Yeah.
It's just.
Oh yeah, you can spend a day here and you walk away completely understanding that. If you sit down and talk to you,
right,
and just what it all involves and just the draw, and you're right, it's way more than turkey hunting. And the stories you told me as we got to know each other and become friends, the history you told me about Dale. We're driving around, going to different public spots looking for turkeys and scouting turkeys a couple years ago when we were hunting, and it seemed like every turn in a dirt road had a story with the mailman.
Oh, there's just so many. I laugh.
Yeah.
There's so many good moments, and we had so much fun at turkey camp, and it's just, and that's all these boards, we have stories of every kill, I mean, there's just so many awesome moments and memories. And
that's the cool thing about a camp like this, is the history that it builds, passed on. And as you said, kids that you introduced or helped dads introduce into turkey hunting now have kids of their own.
Right, exactly. And they're bringing them out, and we're trying to get them on birds, and just having a place to go. I mean, a lot of people don't have a place to go. I talk to lots of new hunters. They're like, where should I go?
Right.
And there's lots of places to hunt, but there's not, if you have something that you can make your own, kind of like this, it's so, we're just so blessed to have a landowner and friends that allow us to do it. But
absolutely.
It's awesome.
Well, looking forward to this next couple days. We're going to get out tonight, go scout around a little bit, maybe get on a bird, maybe put some to roost.
Yeah.
We got a plan for tomorrow morning. Get up nice and early and get in there where you got some activity and see if we can't pop one in the morning. But that's why I like coming over here with you, because you got a plan. It's not.
Well, I just know that, it's better to be in the woods than not.
Absolutely.
So, and if you can at least get out there, and I know there's lots of birds this year.
Yep.
So we should have a good time.
All right, well, I say we go grab our gear, get some water, and head on out for this evening.
All righty.
Opportunity.
Sounds good.
Let's go do that.
Well, there you go, buddy. A little insight into Eric's turkey cabin.
Very cool story.
Yeah, and just all the history there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That is going to do it for us first half of the show here on Root Sports. Thanks for tuning in. If you're streaming live this evening, stick around. Second half of the show coming up right after this break.
Allied, the new leader in heavy gauge aluminum boats. Allied boats have standard reverse chine and lifting rakes to help you plane faster and run at lower RPMs. Allied boats have several models to choose from, ranging from a 19-foot Mustang all the way up to a 32-foot Liberator. So regardless of what type of heavy gauge aluminum boats you are looking for, Allied Boats will have it for you. Contact Allied Boats today to learn more about these incredible fishing machines.
Hey guys, I'm Big Mike. Come on down to the Edge Pro Shop and see me. We've got all the best brands under one roof. We've got Hawken, Procure, Short Bass, Pro Troll, Yakima Bait, Get 'em Dry Jigs, Northwest Bait Scent, Daiwa Reels, North Fork Lures, North Wild, Brad's, Superfly, Rocky Mountain Tackle, and of course, the greatest rods ever built, Edge Rods.
All right, welcome back here in studio, Dwayne England, Tommy Donlin, and I guess I should say, Tommy, you know, that was kind of like setting the stage for the hunt that is to come.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I've already watched the video that Matt has kicked out, parts 1 and 2 of the actual turkey hunt that followed the interview portion there. And let me tell you, man, it's some of his best work thus far.
He has found his calling in life.
This turkey hunt, I'm telling you guys, not blowing smoke here. I watched it. I was just like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Nat
awesome.
Geo.
It's pretty awesome. Did you say Matt Geo?
Matt Geo. There you go.
Matt Geo.
Hey, Matt, you have a new nickname, buddy.
New T-shirt, Viking, Matt Geo. Anyway, hey, buddy, we got out on the ocean last Saturday.
Yes, we did.
For the Halibut Lingcod opener out of Neah Bay.
Yep.
Now you're moving your boat here this weekend.
Yep.
And we're going to be back out of Neah Bay from the sounds of it, right?
We are.
We are a little bit spoiled on the Liberator.
Yes.
No doubt about it. We had an amazing crew with us. You know, the Surdics and of course Stephen and Mark from Defiance Marine. So when you get Defiance Marine and Raymarine and FHN all together in one boat collectively, good times are going to be had. What do you think about those conditions, that weather for opening weekend in comparison to, say, past seasons?
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at last season, the first 4 charter trips, you know, that like Jason ran on Pacific Blue Water Sport Fishing last year out of Westport, in a 39 CV, right? Not a small 20-footer, right?
Yes, yeah.
They were canceled. It was the ocean was so angry and so nasty.
Yep.
And that is, you know, more often than not, that is your typical like early May weather, right? You know, March, April, May. Even if you can make it offshore, that in and of itself is a blessing. And what we had about 10 knots of wind or less, right? Bathtub water.
Yeah.
We ran to the spot at 30 knots. We ran back at 30 knots. We could have ran 40 knots if we wanted to.
Sure.
But there were some rumblings, something about fuel economy and how much am I going to have to pay for fuel on this trip. And I said, all right, we'll cut it at 30 knots.
A little bit, yeah.
And so that is definitely atypical. I think we had a 4-foot swell, 10 knots of wind. That is the stuff that you dream of.
And sunburn.
Yeah, it was sunny.
Pretty epic, and lots of fish over the rail, and lots of good times had. And we actually captured a bit of our day, our day, on video. So go ahead and check this out. Everything we just spoke of, you're going to see right here.
Basically what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be fishing, one side of the boat's going to be fishing pipe jig, grub combos, kind of that double rig that we showed in the how-to. And then the other side is going to be fishing bait. So we're going to have a little bit of everything going on, and that's because this spot has both halibut and lingcod in it. And we want to try to load up on both. So that's what we're doing right now, kind of getting set up, getting the electrics plugged in, and getting ready to bait up. Let's go.
What's going on, Steven?
Nice lingcod.
Yeah, we can bounce him.
On the herring?
On the herring. Look at that, Todd. Go back in the hole.
Now, Larry.
Want to catch some halibuts?
Hopefully.
Mike, you feel like caught halibut, right?
Oh, you want to give me a little starboard reverse there? Oh, you guys are hooked up? Check.
Again.
I'm close.
You got deep color. There we go. Yeah, Larry is definitely leading the board on the Lingcod today.
Got it.
There we go. There we go, there we go.
Nice. We got 10 Lingcod on board right now. Lingcod fishing's pretty prolific, really good. We've kind of been sorting through them, keeping the really good ones, and looking for halibut. We got one nice halibut on board. It's probably around somewhere between 35 and 40 pounds. And we're looking for more halibut at the moment. And so, you know, that's kind of the reason that we're moving around here. And typically, you know, we were fishing about 515 feet of water. Early on in the season, these halibut can be off the top of the shelf down at 6, 7, and sometimes even 800 feet. And so, especially being the first week of May here in the Juan de Fuca Canyon, there's a good probability that these fish are just a little bit deeper. So what we're doing is kind of moving off the top and then moving down off the ledge where we've gotten them before. And we're gonna try here in about 600 feet of water and see what we can find, and if we need to, we'll move even further off the shelf into deeper water and see if we can find some halibut. And it's really just a matter of moving around. You know, it's a big area out here, and honestly, you know, hundreds of yards makes a difference. So, you know, some of the crew was laughing earlier because I told them to pick up. We moved 200 yards and we dropped down again, but some of the spots aren't that big, and so we want to get right on top of where we know these spots produce and drop, and if I'm doing my job correctly, we'll be in the fish, so we'll see. All right, so we just got done with the moved into deeper water, and we've got 3 hooked up, and they're feeling a lot more like halibut. So we're in the same general area. We only moved, about, 4/10 of a mile was all, and now we're hooked up. So we're gonna pull these fish up and see what we got and make sure it's the right kind.
Big guy. Yeah, we can keep that.
Yeah, you can keep these.
Dandy cow.
That's a hell of a rockfish.
That is a big one. Oh no, it's a rockfish. Another one.
Got into the rockfish.
Bocasia. Look at the size. 2 of them, Mike.
Bocasio.
Oh, that's a sick picture. That is a big one.
Yeah, those are good.
I think he's still there.
Is he still there?
It's going to be a while.
All right.
I got 450 more feet of line to collect.
Now, was this a kokanee?
Yes.
So kokanee, you would say, it's more than just dinner? Is that what you would say?
It's more than just dinner, absolutely.
All right. All right, we got triple hooked on maybe quad. Steven, you on? Oh!
Here's coming. Big rock.
How'd you like that underhanded gaff shot there, Mr. Surdick? Did you like that?
So what do you got there, Tommy?
This is a Bocasio rockfish. And for a rockfish, we can have 7 rockfish. These things have a lot of meat on them. A lot of meat on them.
There's something unique about this fish, right? These fish yearn for their skin. This is
I don't know. You're the biologist, so you tell me. Do they? Okay.
Are you snagged?
Yeah. Snagged on what? Earth bottom? No. Mother Earth doesn't head shake. Well, she might,
Close, huh? Can you tell how much more you got?
At 100 feet.
Okay.
Add like a boot. Yep. Sorry, we're just getting all different flavors.
You guys got it, yeah.
Yeah, we're connected.
Deep color. Okay, when you bring him up, lay him out that way.
We're gonna need 2 gaffs here.
No, it's.
Oh, you bet, man.
Look at he's got second fish. Halibut. No, it is another rock.
That's good identification. That's a nice thing, guys.
Okay.
Oh, he's on the Kokanee.
Hey, you have Mark.
Oh, do we? Okay, I got you here in my hand.
There we go.
I can reel up.
Yep, I need this guy to come up a little bit.
Watch my rod dip right under you. There you go. 7.
Hey, ballast weight.
Yeah, I'll just get you closer to the water.
For the gaff. Can you color yet?
Deep color. Can't see him. Big Lingcod though.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
There we go. How you like them apples, baby? Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
That's a real one. All right. Those are the Lingcod that we like to see.
Look how he was hooked.
Yeah. Crazy.
Here, guys, look over this way real quick.
Grab the tail. Or the head if you want. Nice job, Mark. Look at that dinosaur. Look at that thing. Damn thing looks like Godzilla. You know? Look at that top fin. If you don't feel anything, Steven, keep reeling. On your journey. Yep. Keep going. Oh yeah. Big halibut.
That's a dandy.
Big halibut. Here we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Over the rail. My man! Yeah, buddy. Yeah, dude. The tuna belly, dude. There we go. Oh, tuna belly. Sick. Look at that. He liked that, didn't he? Oh, yeah. Yes, sir, baby. Go, man. Get him. You want him? Yeah. Well,
Bigger than one of the other ones.
pull him closer over here, Mark. Put him in the water. Don't pull his head out of the water. Oh yeah, dude.
Nice.
That's a sick kick right there.
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome. Stun halibut, dude. Come on, kid. That's how you do it, hey. Now we're quality. Dinner is served. Coming. Nice one, guys.
So what do we have for us?
Welcome aboard, matey. Woo! Yes, sir. Big boy. Big boy. Let's go. Do a pot of fish?
Yeah, we have a bunch of electric fields.
Yeah, everybody's having to work for them today, bro. Nice. Good call, bro.
Well, there you go, Thomas. A little day on the water with you and I and the gang.
Yes.
And nice video of everybody else reeling in fish, don't you think?
Yeah, he did a good job.
You know, well, I mean, you're busy running the boat and gaffing fish.
That's
I'm busy
right.
running around with camera, and all our friends are just enjoying the bounty, right?
It was good, man. It was good. You know, overall, the halibut fishing, you know, both out of Westport, La Push, Neah Bay, it's been slow.
Sure.
Okay, I mean, you know, this is a fishery where I think over the years we've kind of grown this expectation, you know, that we're going to go out and we're going to go and release 20 to 30 and sometimes even 40 halibut to try to find the ones that we really want to keep.
Upgrade to those good ones.
The bigger models.
Absolutely.
And, you know, on this particular day, I think we only released about half a dozen, maybe 7 or so fish. Now, and luckily the ones that we found were a good grade.
Yeah.
I mean, your average halibut, especially at the beginning of the season, your average fish is only 17 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a ping pong paddle, right? That's a pancake.
This
That's a
is
small
true.
halibut.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we were really happy to get the grade of halibut that we got, the grade of lingcod that we got. You know, all around, it was a really good day.
It was a really good day, and plenty of fish hit the deck, and all of us went home with a nice stash of fish, no doubt. We enjoyed some of that lingcod tonight.
That's right.
Fantastic. We've already gotten into some of that halibut. I mean, why wouldn't you bring home fresh halibut and jump all over that? So, and more weekends to come. We got this Saturday we're going to be out there, and gosh, the 9th we'll be out at Westport, and then you and I are heading right from Westport. We're going to Neah Bay for the weekend.
That's right.
We got some serious ocean fisheries to do. So if you guys have opportunity, I mean, the season's just getting started. The forecast, the ocean forecast for this weekend.
It's looking good. It was excellent today.
Yeah.
The guys that were out today did really well.
Yeah.
The water was flat. I'm looking forward to another good water day.
I remember last season we were talking week in and week out.
Yeah.
Reviewing and recapping the weather and the inopportunity folks were having and trips being canceled. And we kept talking about how cold of a May it was. Remember last year how cold and blustery and just horrible of a May it was? And we're like, we cannot wait for June to get here and hopefully it starts warming up. And I had told you several times, I don't even want to talk about halibut fish until we're talking June dates because May is just a joke. Well, I'm here to tell you this year.
Yep.
Talk about 180 turnaround.
The tables have turned.
Oh my gosh! So we got some great opportunity. The other thing I noticed, we pretty much caught halibut and lings on. I mean, they're opportunistic. So pretty much anything we put down. Steven was crushing the halibut on black label herring.
Yeah, on just a plain herring.
Mr. Consistent, right back there in the corner, the stealthy assassin. He's back there just hooking into these halibut, and Mark was running the Lancer jig, that oversized Lancer jig. That was getting it done. I got stripped 3 times on my doggone Kokanee. I think it had to do, as we talked, with hook configuration.
Right. Yep.
So I'm going to make a little change, go back to J hooks. I'm done with circle hooks. I'm just going to focus on what's worked in the past. Right?
Yeah, I would say, though, that the highliner of the day and the #1 producer was the Norwegian jig, the Self-Crocken jig, right? 35-ounce jig. And credit to Larry Surdick for just pumping that thing day in, day out, all day, didn't stop, committed, just like absolutely committed to the jig. I mean, he caught lingcod, he got halibut, he got canary rockfish, he got Bocasio rockfish. Like he the full meal deal. The dude never got tired, never complained. Unlike his son.
Yeah,
and
a little bit of whimper in there.
Just got it done. It's impressive, very impressive.
And I tip my cap to Mike. He freaking that last halibut he brought on board there. That was a dandy.
Yes,
right. That was decent.
Yes, it was.
So, great time.
And you know what that was, right? That was the tuna belly.
That was the tuna belly.
That was the tuna belly.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had tuna belly, we had salmon belly, we had herring, we had squid, we had octopus, we had kokanee, we had trout.
We had everything. We had it covered.
Yeah.
Not just any salmon belly. That was Rivers Inlet salmon belly.
From the Surdics.
Deluxe from the Surdics, yes.
I know most people would put that on a smoker.
That's well, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, this is, why are we using this for bait? We should be eating this. But
you could eat it right now. So, all right, we're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back. We've got a few points of interest, things that you need to perhaps hear about. And if you don't want to, well, it doesn't matter because we're going to tell you anyway.
Here you go.
We'll be back right after this.
All Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why all boats are backed with a lifetime warranty. All Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. All Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Before you buy any boat, stop by or call Defiance Boats today to ensure you are getting the very best glass boat your money can buy.
If you're looking for the best fishing rods in the world, you really do need to take a look at the Edge rods. I designed and built new machinery, and I think this new machinery has enabled us to build blanks like no other company can build without this equipment. There is no other rods in the world that are as good as these rods. You owe it to yourself to take a good look at them.
New days, new beginnings, new friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
All right, welcome back here in studio to New England Tommy Donlin, and kind of getting on through some bits of info here. Tommy, you know, Oregon has announced along the coast there, Astoria, they opened up the beaches again for clamming.
Yeah.
They have not been open for clamming since September of 22 due to domoic acid.
Right.
And now it looks like they're actually going to get back after it, much like Washington's been enjoying so much clam opportunity. Unlike us with 20 clam limits, they're still at 15.
Those poor guys down there, down south. Oh, it's horrible.
It's,
yeah, well, they had domoic acid for the last, they had 2 consecutive weeks where it was below the limit, and so they kind of deemed it acceptable to open it back up. But unfortunately, when you look from Tillamook Head down to the California border, they still have domoic acid levels too high, right? And so you still can't clam in those areas, but they are going to have some opportunity further north.
The interesting thing about that domoic acid and what generates it is, basically what the clams eat, right? And yet, once it gets to a certain level of toxicity, they continue to eat it, but once it gets inside them, it turns into a neurotoxin for us. So it's ironic that it is what they need to eat to survive. Really has no effect on them other than it has to be flushed out over time.
Right.
But when those levels get to that, and so if on your point, when you move from Tillamook further south, warmer water temperatures probably still generating that type of complexity there.
Right.
So,
but in Washington State, we still have opportunity through Mother's Day, and then that's it. That's the end of our spring digs.
That was the announcement, May 14th.
Yep.
Final day. And let me tell you, it's been good. We went out last weekend, last Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Took Harper. Why? The extra limit.
That's right. That's right.
So we had 100 clams to bring home and clean, and credit to Sherry and Kat, and they jumped in there in the sink and got it going. I was the boiler, and the video from the week before. Nothing changes. We just did that, but it was 100 times that you have to do that. So
and you bring up a good point. So Harper is 5 now.
She's 6. Just turned 6.
Okay, so with kids, right? And WDFW went out and they actually published a video that said, "Hey, look, you can't just like strap your kid on your back and then like dig their limit while they're on your back. Right? They have to be actively involved. Those are the key words. They have to be actively involved in the process, right? And so WDFW actually went out and kind of published a video on what does that look like when you're razor clamming, and they don't have to be running the gun, but if they're grabbing the clam out of the once you fire the gun, bring it out, dump it out, they're grabbing the clam, right? That counts as being actively involved.
So, and wearing their whatever it is,
carrying their
mesh
limit.
bag or whatever it is, that bucket, what have you. They have to carry their own limit, and 20 clams, and the size these clams are,
it can be a little bit of weight.
Basically, Harper's dragging that thing on the ground.
Yeah, she's got a sled. She's doing sled work.
Doing sled work. Hey, one other thing I'd been taking advantage of, you get out there and just the sand shrimp mounds and holes are everywhere. So I've been taking my sand shrimp gun, and a couple folks had messaged me and asked, what do you do with all them sand shrimp, or how do you, can you cure them? And I basically, over the years, had always told persons, the only cure for curing sand shrimp is to don't try and cure it because it doesn't work. But I started messing around with a few things, and one thing I have been doing, I've been pretty happy with the end result. And for me, the end result is ultimately then how do they fish? And do they not smell like rotten shrimp? Do they still smell like sand shrimp?
And do they stay together?
And do they stay together? How do they fish? So I've been freezing them in water, and I can use water from the tap here because we're on a well. I don't have, it's not public water, so that's fine, right? So if I didn't have access to that, I'd be using distilled water out of a bottle, out of a gallon jug. But I'm freezing them in water in a small container. And then when I thaw them out, the first batch I did, I realized as that heavy block of ice melts and the shrimp start getting exposed out of the ice, the weight of the ice continues to crush the shrimp. So I thought, okay, so I just put it in a bowl full of water, and I let the ice melt in the bowl of water.
They kind of fall out of the ice block.
They just kind of fall out, and there's nothing crushing them. And then I take them out, and I would put them on paper towels, leg or belly side up, sprinkle a little bit of non-iodized sea salt on them, and then put them in a container. And I got to tell you, the next day I went down to a tributary on the Columbia here, chasing Spring Chinook, and they fished fantastic. And they were in the freezer for a couple weeks, and then took them out. And I did that
that's
process.
Pretty good.
So
they're very delicate.
They're very delicate. You can't expect them to last a long time. But if you're going to go and gun up a bunch of sand shrimp, and you don't want them to go to waste, the other option is you can dry them out as I've showed before, demonstrated in your dehydrator, and then you can grind them up into powder, and then you can add that sand shrimp powder into some of your eggs when you're curing eggs, and it works really, really well.
Just make sure you don't try to dry fruits or vegetables after you dry sand shrimp.
I do it at the same time.
You do it at the same time. Banana chips and
it all just
comes
runs
together.
It's
You have
all
nice
fantastic.
shrimp flavor.
So anyway, there's a couple options. I've been experimenting with a few different ones and finding success that I would say, yeah, give this a try. I think you'll be happy with how it works. So just some things to think about.
Cool.
Hey, I don't know if you saw this, the Boston Harbor access over here outside of Olympia for area access to Area 13. Closed May 8th. Apparently it's going to be closed all the way through November. They're revamping the entire thing. Boat ramp, adding bathrooms or upgrading, complete bathroom overhaul, parking lot, the whole deal. Folks are a little bit peeved about it because prime time between now and say August.
Yeah, right.
You'd like to be fishing Area 13.
Right,
and
save that work for the winter.
Yeah, and it's one of those nice little public launch areas. Doesn't cost you a ton to be able to launch there because it's not private.
Yeah.
And it gives you great access. They got the store there, which I believe is remaining open through the construction project. So that one is closed. Got to find an alternative means of getting your boat in the water.
Right, but there's other options, right? I mean, I think you've gone out of Zittles a few times.
Yep.
And the only problem is there, right? The launch is, what is it, $20?
$20 launch at
and then
Zittles.
if I'm going with you and I'm meeting you there and I need to park my vehicle,
$15.
That's $15. That hurts a little bit.
That's
that kind of stings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of unfortunate. But then you've also got you've got a few others, right? Lures Landing at the Nisqually Delta.
Yep.
And then Swantown Marina in downtown Olympia. So you do have a couple other options.
You got a couple other options. I would advise folks, if you haven't used these launches before, drive by in your personal vehicle before you tow your boat and look at the angle of entry of these ramps. Because some of these
are pretty small, right?
And shallow.
Yeah.
In other words, they don't have a good drop to them to where a larger boat with deep motor would fit. So they're pretty shallow in trajectory, and so you're going to have to put your truck in the water.
Put a snorkel on your truck before you go to some of these launches.
Yeah, and if you want, salt water all over your aluminum wheels, then you go ahead and do that. But that's not for me. So
no thanks.
Things to think about. Hey, I kind of mentioned it. Tributary Springers, the fishing is off and running. The numbers on the dam counts going up, almost 8,000 as of couple days ago, or the 10th or whatever I had said previously. But they're trickling into some of these tributaries. Lots of boats. I think the first day I went down there and fished one of my Southwest Washington rivers. The spot, I went to bank fish because it was a Friday, and I had 12 or 14 drift boats come by me.
Wow.
And I think I accounted for driving out that morning after I was done in about somewhere between 30 and 40 drift boats.
Wow.
Now, some of these smaller rivers, that's a lot.
Yeah, that seems like a lot.
It's a lot of pressure, a lot of bank folks, definitely. You drive by some of the more well-known bank opportunities. Some of those guys are getting there at 2 or 3 in the morning, sleeping in their trucks. I'm going, I like Spring Chinook, but, come on. So, anyway, I mean, take it on if you want to. But, the Tributary Spring Chinook fishing is happening, places like the Cowlitz, and the Lewis is closed. Kalama's open. There's some other opportunities happening. Those upper fisheries too. You mentioned it. Bank fishing there at Drano.
Yeah.
And if you want to go do that, so it's not like there isn't opportunity. There is opportunity. You just need to be willing to go find it.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes. Okay. Couple other things to discuss. We got today was interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
We have a fishing report, okay?
What is it?
Let's hear it. Got a bit of a fishing report that we're going to get into, but we're going to jump out for a quick break. So stick around for this as we close out the show. Some insightful bits of information in today's report coming to you right after this.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride in Bremerton, Washington. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why Arima boats are backed with a lifetime warranty. Arima can offer every boat with Honda outboard packages so that you can take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Call or stop by Arima Boats today and let them help you get into your very next boat.
Yep, for sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
Welcome back here in studio as we close out the show. So Thomas, me and buddy DJ got out on the water today.
Yeah, you did.
We took opportunity of pretty decent outlook on the tide and lack of wind and sunshine, and thought, you know.
And your retirement.
Yeah. Oh well, there's that.
There's kind of a little jealousy over here.
Yeah. Well, let's just look past that.
Okay.
Just,
okay.
You know, hey, let's just. I mean, why not? It's right here in the backyard. Let's just go fish Area 13 and see.
Which is open year round.
Open year round.
Right. You have, you said 1 or 2 fish per person? 2 fish per person. Okay.
2 fish. 2 rod endorsement.
Yep.
But we opted to take the jigging rods because you and I, in talking and kind of putting this whole thing together.
Yes.
This is the approach for jigging in Puget Sound, and I don't need to run all the way up to Area 10 when it opens to jig. I want to get out here in 13 to start practicing.
Right.
And so let's talk a little bit about this setup with edge and accurate, and kind of our approach to jigging for Chinook and Puget Sound.
That's right. Yeah. So this is completely. It's if you're a born and raised Pacific Northwest fisherman, this is counterintuitive for you.
100%.
Okay? This is Edge's slow pitch jigging rod. This is a power 1. Okay, so they have, power 0 through 4. The powers are associated with the weight of the jig, and it's really it's completely different than the parabolic, like high speed jigging action, right? Where you're watching. I think Shimano was one of the first ones in the U.S. to kind of bring it forward and say, hey, this is speed jigging. You buy these jigs where most of the weight is in the bottom of the jig, and it's a reaction bite, but you got to make your jig look like a fleeing bait fish, right? Like a healthy bait fish.
Right.
And you're sitting there getting a full body cardio workout as you pump this rod up and down, trying to make this jig work through the system. This is not that. Okay, this is slow pitch jigging where the rod does the work and you don't have to jig like a madman. And the science and the technology in the blank is really how the rod unloads. Okay, so the rod is designed to lift the jig in the water column and then make it slide to the side and then kind of flutter back and forth, right? And all of the jigs, if you look at the slow pitch jigs, majority of them are asymmetrically weighted, right? So they have a lot different action than your speed jigs that are just symmetrical and bottom weighted, right? Or maybe just bottom weighted. It's not a knife jig, it's not a high speed jig, it's a slow pitch jig. And so what you guys did today is you went out, you took your accurate 500N, right, which is a 500 narrow. The N stands for narrow, and you can tell this is an SPJ because you got the T-bar, big handle on it, right?
Yep.
And you guys jigged all day, and you jigged 4 to 7 ounce jigs, and not once did you guys get tired.
No.
Because this rod weighs literally nothing.
Correct.
Okay. And then furthermore, you've got this, you've got a really good handle, so you're grabbing the rod and the reel with your right hand, you're grabbing the reel with your left hand. You've got like the best handle you can ever have on a fishing rod.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it fills your handle. It's not like in your fingers.
Right.
It's in the palm of your hand.
Yep.
Right? The other thing is, folks need to get accustomed to, as you're jigging this, because you're right, you can jig all day, 3.5, 4 ounce jigs, and don't feel like you were jigging today at all.
Right.
And we hooked into some fish, and you're fighting those fish. You got to remember that thing is designed to be tucked up under your armpit.
That's right.
And just use the rod to leverage and let the rod do the work against that fish. And you would think, that rod is rated 20 to 40. It's 6'4", 1-piece rod. The diameter of the butt of that rod is smaller than the diameter of our pinky fingers.
That's right.
And yet,
that's right.
We got into some decent Chinook today, and I'm here to tell you that rod all day long.
Right. And so the thing that's beautiful about this setup, and again, it's counterintuitive because, even you can use this same rod, the same reel, the same line to go out and catch a 35-pound albacore, to catch a 50-pound halibut.
Right.
And I think for a lot of people, that's a foreign concept, right? Because you're running 30-pound braid on here, okay? And you've got, that feels like a 25-pound maybe top shot there.
Yep.
And, you know, the thing that's weird, right, is that the rod selection, when you select your power, what you're doing is you're selecting the jig weight and then aligning the rod to the jig. And the weight of the jig that you pick is really dependent on a couple things: how deep you're fishing, right? And then how much current you anticipate in that area. And then also the profile of the jig, because you can have some really narrow, thin profiles, you know, something, you know, to liken it to a Point Wilson dart in terms of size, right?
Sure.
And you have some other jigs, right? And again, a Point Wilson dart is not a slow pitch jig, but just to give people an idea. And then you have a lot wider jigs, right? You know, people are familiar with a flat fall jig.
Sure.
And so it really depends on the size of the jig, and how the rod works the jig through the water column.
So those rods, I paired them up today. Mostly DJ and I were fishing the Grim Reefer.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, 3.5, and it's a wide jig, right? Had excellent flutter on the fall. And as you kind of mentioned it before, it's all about how the rod loads up.
Yeah.
And then slingshots that jig with no effort on my part.
Yep.
Right? I'm just popping the rod up nice and easy. The rod loads with the resistance of the jig, and all of a sudden it slings it. And you can just feel it unload, and it's going to catapult that thing up, and then it's going to naturally free fall, and you just follow it down. And once it goes taut again, you just pop it up. And I can't tell you, obviously, as would be for most case in salmon, you know, they hit it on that drop, and you feel that interruption.
Yes.
You feel that interruption, and then you start cranking a couple times and come up and set the hook, and next thing you know, you're like, oh yeah, that's a good fish, right?
Yeah. Now I want to give a fair warning to people, right? So this is, you know, the rod is designed to work the jig through the water column. It is really not designed to fight the fish. You fight the fish with the reel, right? And you know, some people look like, well, why do you need? It's amazing, you know. Accurate is famous for designing super small reels that have the most amazing drags in the world, right?
Yeah.
And then you look and you go, well, why the hell do you need that, right? Well, let me tell you what, the fight of the fish is taken out on the reel. It's not taken out on the rod. You never break the horizontal plane with a slow pitch rod. If you do, it's a recipe for disaster. Trust me, I know, okay? So you want to keep the rod at a horizontal or lower and really fight the fish with the reel. And that's why, another reason why they put such a big handle on it, right? Because you're literally grabbing this and fighting the fish through the reel. Yeah.
I would say there's a couple times today that I was probably up a little bit horizontal, but that's because you got a 20-pound Chinook that's on the surface.
Yeah.
And he, you know, we're over here at the south end, and he's going north. And he's just straight on out and just peeling line like a madman.
Yeah. I've got some video of catching tuna on the slow pitch rod last summer, you know, the power zeros and the power ones. And sometimes those fish take a run underneath the boat. And I went back and I went through the video and I took some stills out of the video and I looked at the deflection of the rod, and it almost made me cringe to see how much this rod was bending, right?
Yes.
So you really want to be careful in that sense. You can't just, it's not a rod that's, you know, you can just reef on no matter what. You can't high stick it.
Yep.
It's very point designed.
Yes, it is. Well, it's going to be a game changer. You know, got 2 of the 1s, 2 of the 0 powers, and depending on size of jigs and where I'm fishing and current and all those things, that is my tool I'm putting to use this entire season. Anytime I'm hitting Puget Sound and we're out there jigging for Chinook and or even coho. So,
are you telling people how many fish you caught, or is that a secret you don't want?
No, we don't talk.
Okay, we don't talk about that.
It was a great.
There was one
great
fish
day.
retained.
Well, only because of fins. Too many fins. It was a great day.
Yeah.
DJ and I had a fantastic day on the water, and we can look forward to doing some more of that. It's a big area out there. You got to find some areas that are conducive to holding fish, and if you can get into it, and the tide structure is right, and the wind is, you know.
And you found some bait too.
Found some bait.
Yeah.
Found one sea lion.
Oh, it's one too many.
That left us alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just an all-around fantastic day. The only reason we had to get off the water is because I had to get back here in time to do this.
do the show.
So
that's right.
Anyway, hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Tommy, we got more jigging talk to get through this summer, in addition to our ocean fisheries, we'll be focused on some of our Puget Sound troll fisheries and, of course, the jigging opportunity and some things that we could be out there doing to find success. And we're going to help you guys as well, either here in studio, in the bait lab, or on the water. So that's
Amen.
All right. Looking forward to a fantastic weekend. Weather's conducive. We'll be back out on the ocean. Hopefully you find some time to get out on the water as well. Post your pictures to our Facebook page. Before I get out of here, hey, I do need to remind everybody, yes, Tommy, second to last reminder, I guess, our Kids Trout Derby is coming up in a matter of, 10 days or so. Kids Trout Derby. Hey, go to our Facebook page, go to my personal page. All the information is there. If you haven't heard about it, you must be under a rock. Kids 14 and under fish for free. All right, this is a kids annual trout derby, third annual Fish Hunt Northwest and Summit Lake community folks helping out with the Kids Trout Derby. It's held here at the community center. It starts at daylight. Weigh-in opens at 9 a.m. You must be in line by 11 a.m. to weigh in and check in your fish and get your kids signed in. You don't need to come see us before you go fishing. Just show up at the location afterwards. Parking attendants on hand, going to help you go park your truck and boat over there at the church. Plenty of room. We'll have persons walk in the parking lots watching your boats and gear. So moms and dads and parents, you can take your time, enjoy the awards, not worry about your gear. So plenty of people there to help. We could use some more volunteers if you're so inclined. So hit us up on Facebook or Messenger. Let us know that you'd like to attend and help out. That would be great. What else? Kids Trout Pond, 5 and under get to fish the trout pond. Again, all free. WDFW is supplying 250 trout in the trout pond for kids 5 and under. Mission Outdoors, huge contributor this year, bringing the trout pond, also providing lunch and breakfast, completely free. Stop by early, get some breakfast, enjoy lunch during the awards. All drinks, all food, all free the entire day. This isn't going to cost you a dime. Tons of prizes, thousands of dollars worth of prizes, thanks to our generous sponsors, which we'll get into next week. Thousands of dollars have been donated. We're buying the farm, man. We are going to show up there with so much stuff to give to these kids. It's going to be fantastic. So look up the information on our Facebook page. Make sure you make plans to attend May 20th Saturday here, Summit Lake, 3rd Annual Fish Hunt Northwest and Summit Lake Community Trout Derby. All right, going to do it for us this week, Tommy. We'll be back.
Before we jump out,
okay.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. If it wasn't for my mom, I would not be where I am today.
This is true.
In terms of fishing. My mom taught me how to fish. I grew up here in the Seattle region and learned how to fish on Puget Sound. So happy Mother's Day. We appreciate you all.
Yes, we do. And I appreciate every time you put that picture up.
Yeah, it's a good one, huh?
And then you remind everybody this started the addiction right there, right? So,
yes, it did.
Yeah, good on you, man. All right, yes, happy Mother's Day to all of you. And we will see you next Thursday right here in studio live, 6 p.m. Make sure you're not late. Join us. Have a great weekend.